Hello, guys. Welcome back. I hope you had an amazing um, Christmas. I'm gonna um, let's just wait until Megan. Hello, Megan.
Hello.
Sorry for the iPad confusion.
That's okay.
Is this fine?
Yeah, this works
Okay.
fine. I just want to make sure I can get my phone to stay. There.
Okay. I'm just gonna um, get the questions. So this is my first 24 24. Oh my god, I can't talk. 24. Oh my god, I cannot talk. Anyway, this is my first podcast in the new year.
Woohoo!
um for you. So I'm so excited for you to give us your journey and your story. Guys, this is Megan. Actually, she does the same thing. We do all inclusion coloring books, and it's so cool to meet and talk to my guest that does the same exact thing.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool when I found you. I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing the same amazing things.
Yes, so I have questions. Okay, you are a wife, a mom, a speech pathologist. How do you balance your acts and do this role?
Uh, I would say it's quite challenging most times, but I've learned to kind of just section it off in my brain. So, like in the mornings, I'm kind of like that mom role. I'm getting the kids ready. We're going to school. It's actually become a lot funner now to go to work because my daughter gets to come with me.
Ooh.
Um, at work, I'm thinking about work, and then once I leave, I kind of go back into the mommy role, and then a lot of the book journey really happens after the kids go to bed because that's like my time to
Yep.
decompress and kind of want. So it's definitely a juggling act, but somehow I make it all work, and it's quite fun. So
Yeah,
very thankful. Yeah.
it sounds fun. So you are a speech pathologist for 8 years. When and how did you want to become a speech pathologist?
When I felt like growing up, I knew I always wanted to work with people. I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. And then someone brought up being a teacher, but I'm not very good at managing that many kids at one
Yep.
time. So I was like, well, what could I do to kind of work with a smaller group of children? And then my stepmom, she's a diagnostician, and she was like, why don't you come observe like the PT, the OT, and the speech? And I was like, okay. So I did that, and I loved how the speech therapist was able to play but still do her
Mm-hmm.
job. And I was like, I want to do this. And so I ended up going to college and graduate school for it, and now here I am.
Wow. Yeah, I am grateful for the speech pathologist because obviously after the stroke, I was involved with them for probably 4 years after my stroke. So I honor you. I love speech. Oh my God, I just love them so much because, they did an awesome job with me, and I got to really know the act of, having a speech pathologist degree. You can do a stroke or what you're doing in the elementary school, and i I really found it fascinating after my stroke.
There's so many different aspects that we can work with and even age groups we can work with that a lot of people don't really
Right.
realize. And so it's neat to have other people's perspectives. Yes.
Yeah, it was very neat to meet these awesome women that really stayed for stroke and young survivors, and it really, really blew me away. I'm like, should I go to
You should
this?
do it.
I'm like, ooh, but yeah, I totally honor you and thank you for your work. Um, so I have another question. Author's journey. What sparked your transition to a speech pathologist to an author, and then focusing on representation that are not widely in, representation in literature?
Um, all of this kind of started back my CF year, so my fellowship year before I actually got my
Okay.
CF. I was in private practice, so all of my sessions were one-on-one, and I started developing these relationships with the parents, with the kids, and my favorite thing is the reading aspect, like kind of basically learning and interacting and stuff is based upon like the reading that you can get at home or just the interaction with your parents. And so I started recommending those activities to my parents, like whether you're reading the book or not, you're sitting there, you're having that time together. And one parent brought it up, that's great. We love reading to my son. However, I can't go to a bookshelf and find a character that looks like him. And it kind of struck my heart. I was like, I mean, I didn't have kids at the time.
Okay.
But to think about, especially now, like my kids going to the bookshelf and not being able to find a character, like that would break my heart.
Right.
And so I heard it from her, and then I kept hearing it like as the months went by. And at that point, I was like, well, maybe there's a need for this. And I did some research and I didn't find any, I don't, so I just didn't find any like cute characters, if that would be
Yep.
like the best way to explain it. A lot of it was medical based,
Yep.
and no kid wants, I mean, medical books, yes, are great.
Right.
Not gonna, but to have a little kid only see themselves represented in a medical book is sad. And I wanted them to have a different outlook and avenue to where they could go and
Yep.
pick up that book with that cute. Um, so now, what, 8 years later, I made it a reality last year, and it's been the best thing ever. Not only for like me, the reactions, but for families and people I know and don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so crazy, but it's so cool. Like I wish this wasn't, like we're in 2024. I feel like this should have happened a long time ago. And so to have you and all of us working together to try to expand the disability representation, I think is great. And I'm happy that, we're all working together moving forward. So that was the main thing, is that every kid should be able to see themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I grew up in, 2000s, and we didn't have any books. I mean, absolutely not. Like I was the only girl in a wheelchair in Long Island, like very sheltered. And I actually did go into an able-bodied school. So I'm like, okay, like they're talking about their characters, but what about me?
Uh-huh.
So I did like feel like, not interested, and, not, wanting to read, these books as a kid. But now, when I was a graphic designer, I always wanted to do a book that was probably in my bucket list, but I was like, I don't know about like a memoir. Like I thought about a memoir about like a while, but it's long. And I just thought of, well, why don't we just do like a coloring book? And I looked on Google and we had nothing. I'm like, I did not literally tell anyone except my mom. I'm like, I have like a great idea. It just literally, I just like thought about it. And I'm like, Mom, I think I'm gonna do like, an all inclusive coloring book. And my mom's like, okay, like that sounds cool. And I did it. And like, as you said, I mean, the outpour of love and, you know, I have so many special, like, uh, special muscular dystrophy kids that like I mentor on my own with these groups, and they loved it. I'm like, oh my God, like that was what my purpose, you know, to have these representation and have characters that you can draw and look the same.
And I think even so tonight, funny story, every night while I'm cooking, my kids have to go and pick something to where they have to interact or whatever while they're at the table. And I picked out your book and another one, and my son picked it, and he goes, I want Spider-Man. And so I flipped it open and I found Spider-Man, and his
Yeah.
face just lit up. Like it was just so cute.
Oh my God, I love
And
that.
then
Because I literally was like, I need a spider, like, you know, hero book. Like, that is
and
awesome.
then he noticed one of them looked like Iron Man, and
Yep.
then he dogs, and then my daughter's like, "Oh my gosh, Wonder Woman!" And so, to me, I love that aspect of them, especially now that I have the inclusivity within like my house with my books. It's nice to hear their language as, "Oh, look, it's Spider-Man. Oh, look, it's Iron Man," versus identifying other things that they see that are different. So I love that connection through your book. It was like
Oh my
I
God. Yeah, I'm gonna tell my mom about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wanted to connect to the, you know, young audience because, you know, I have a cousin that kind of, you know, she's 5 now. So she kind of like, you know, inspired me to do something because I'm like, well, Marin's not going to grow up with, you know, not seeing my wheelchair and just connecting with, you know, a wheelchair. And now she like doesn't care about it. She's like, oh yeah, like Courtney's in a wheelchair, like it's no problem. But like that was my inspiration to do, you know, this coloring book or, you know, a book because I really wanted to get into that kids' minds.
and it makes it so much easier for them to see it and identify with, and then as they grow up or even as they go to school and they see it in real life, it's not something they like haven't seen before, and
Mm-hmm.
conversations, and it truly opens up a whole world to me of more positivity, I think, with your coloring book that you've created and all of us working kind of together to expand that. So I'm excited, and I'm so glad you made yours.
Thanks. I opened up your coloring book, and my caregiver is like, "Oh my God, it's so cool!" Like the buttons, it was so cute. So, are you the illustrator also?
No, I'm not that
Yeah, no,
talented.
no, me too.
No, I have the thoughts and I have the words in my brain, but to put it on paper to look nice, it just doesn't work for me. So I
Absolutely, no, I totally agree. My first book, I actually worked with a disability illustrator, and her son has muscular dystrophy, and I loved her drawings, so I actually emailed her, and she like wanted to collaborate. I was like, awesome, because I'm a graphic designer, but I'm not an illustrator. Like I love my, you know, simple graphic designer, but I'm not, as you said, I'm not that.
yeah.
And then, you know, in last spring, AI was really talked about, and I'm like a nerd. So I went ham, and I'm like, wait, like let me look up if like I can do like the superheroes because I always like I just have thoughts every day, and I really wanted to, you know, create a book about superheroes because like you know, I love that, you know, world. So I got on AI and I was like, okay, like I want a coloring book for, a girl in a wheelchair that has, superhero wings, and it did it. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. So I just would stay up all night and just just think of as you said, like, okay, like I want to be superhero. I want to be Wonder Woman. And I'm like, we can actually prompt that idea and get the artwork.
Right.
So
I
that
could
was awesome.
load. It looked like there was almost like a story to it as you
Oh yeah.
would move.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Like it's a story, and I'm glad that you said that, because it really, like in my third book, my winter books, I really wanted to obviously do Christmas, Kwanzaa, oh my God, I can't think of uh Hanukkah. So I was like, okay, and I like forgot one holiday, and I love my best friends, and thank God I had my best friends, because she was like, you're missing Kwanzaa. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know that. Like, thank you so much. So my best friends are my like rocks, and then like, approve everything. But it's really cool that we have this great supporting community on social media as well.
I love it.
Yeah, so that was what I, created. Okay, well, I have another question. We talked about it, but I mean, you can elaborate. Why is it crucial to have diverse uh, representation for kids literature, and obviously what your books contribute to that cause?
I think overall the importance of it being in the kid literature kind of area is for all kids to see that, to see everyone when they're younger, not teenage years or going to college, or that way acceptance is built early on versus almost having to change, not change your mind, but almost morph your feelings and thoughts as you get older. Like seeing it younger, you have more acceptance, you have more understanding, and that just flows into as you're getting older. And I almost feel like my kids sometimes are going to be like my research study, because I want to see, like, because my daughter's almost, well, she's 5.5,
Okay.
and like I want to see almost how she takes all of this as she gets older, like as she goes through her school, as she goes through sports. Like I want to see how she converses with others, since she's been kind of involved with it here at home. Um, but inclusion definitely starts at home. And when you have kids' books, your parents are typically with the little ones when they're younger. So it's a good avenue to start young, give them acceptance, and then build those conversations so they can build friends and stuff as they get older. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was saying to that with my cousin, like the same thing that you said. I'm interested that, she would be a little bit nicer to the, disabled community, because she's so like used to, me in a wheelchair, or, having my cousin to lift me. So totally, I totally get what you're saying.
it's almost like those reels I've been seeing going around. It's like if you want to know how to treat someone, look at a sibling who has an older or
Yep.
younger sibling with a disability. Yeah, it's like it's so true, because they see that person for who they are versus maybe how they're different. And so I love that almost perspective, and we should all be thinking and living that way.
Yeah. I have a brother that is 2 years younger, and he lives in California. And like you said, I mean, he sees me as, a sister. and yada yada. And he was working, and a lady was like, "Oh, you don't even understand my life. Like, I have a disability, kid. You'll never get it." And my brother is like, my sister has muscular dystrophy. Like, yeah, I get it. And she was just flabbergasted.
And
Like,
I bet the tone of that conversation.
oh yeah. It's like you don't know what is happening, at home. And it was very interesting to see my brother go into real life and have that experience, because like he was my caretaker, all my life. And it's normal to have like a big sister in a wheelchair. But I mean, we travel, we do concerts. Like, it doesn't stop us to live normally. I think I I like having a sibling because, as you said, like that relationship is so special. And, I would do the, normal things. But, obviously I had to adapt. But having a brother that sees you as a person, not a wheelchair, is so fascinating.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Okay. So you have 3 books, right?
Yes. I read that question earlier. I was like, wait, one, two, three. I was like, oh my gosh, I do have 3.
Me too. So, okay. So tell me about your 3 books.
Well, Margot and Cy go in like the same format. I almost have like the same phrase throughout. It's identifying that we're different, but yet we're still conquering and doing the same things throughout the day. So for some people, it looks a little bit different, but we're still capable of doing the same things. So Margot, it kind of takes you through her morning. Cy takes you through his first day at school.
Mm,
And then my Christmas book is the first one that has all of my characters together. I tried so hard to get my character books to rhyme, and I just, I just couldn't do it. And then, so props to all the people out there that have rhyming books because
yes.
that is magic. And then I did my Christmas one, and I was like, okay, maybe this will be the one that'll rhyme. So my Christmas book is the one that rhymes, and it's kind of around, well, not kind of, it's around each character, and each character has something they kind of want for Christmas, and it's all various things that my students have personally told me they wanted for Christmas. I mean, so it's something as, easy as a baseball to wanting to be, felt accepted. So it goes from something super easy to something way abstract for what my characters want. So, and then I have 2 more right now that are being edited, and I'm excited to see what those will look like.
That is
So,
so cool. I like that, you know, starting out with a baseball and being accepted. I think people kind of forget about the littlest things. Um, After having a stroke, I'm very grateful for the littlest things. So props to that, because being accepted is a big and small issue, um, to get invited, or, joining a club that is, all disabilities. So yeah, I think I love that route and that story. I'm excited for your other books.
yes, I can. So Nash and Keely are next. Nash is a little boy with cerebral palsy,
Got
and
it.
then Keely, she has cerebral palsy as well. Nash utilizes a wheelchair, and then Keely has her pull behind walker as well as her forearm crutches. So they're able to provide various like aids that other people can use. And it's cute. when I show pictures of those characters at different schools, and you just see the kids, just their faces just light up because they're like, oh my gosh, he looks like me or she looks like me. So it's
right.
yeah, it's so rewarding.
It's so rewarding, and having that acceptance in speech, I would never imagine it like when I was growing up, but I'm so excited for, the future, because it's getting really all inclusive, and I'm like loving it, and I'm like right on. Like my two best friends are teachers, so we go to Barnes and Noble and I check all the books out. I'm like, my best friend, we actually grew up like together for 16 years. And I was like, Tatiana, like, these are books that we didn't have growing up. Like, this is wild, because I like normally go to the adult like fiction, but when I'm with her, like like check out the kids. And I was like just fascinating that we have so much to, seen and be accepted, and diversity. I was like, this is so cool.
I love too how the different stores are jumping on it.
Yep.
Like to Target, and I thought it was so
Yep.
cute. My husband stopped and he's like, "Babe, look." And I was like, "What?" And it was a little boy using his
Yep.
forearm crutches. Look at that. That is on a Target advertisement where how many people walk by that, and to see that, it was like we both stopped and stared at it. We're like, "Is this real?"
Yep.
And then saw it. She's like, "Look, he's just like
Yeah.
Keely." So it's so neat.
Target has awesome brands that adaptable. They have the Billy footwear that are good with braces. Like I had braces, my leg braces. We didn't have any shoes. Like,
I
and
didn't know
you can,
Target. I thought those were
yeah, the Billies are Target.
wow.
Like,
Okay.
wow, that is awesome. Like the littlest things, but Target is like really inclusivity now.
Yeah, I love that. I've seen even things on Instagram. I can't think of it right now, but it's a little, I think it's a stuffed animal company and
Oh,
or representative of the people that they have within their ads. It's a super, not cozy. I can't think of it, but when I
yeah,
find it, I'll share it.
yeah, and it's just so cool to have representation. Not every store, but as your husband said, oh, it's so so inspiring and awesome that it's in Target. So how do you bring your characters to life? Like, do you like think about them, and like, I don't know, like how do you like think about your characters?
Originally they were all like they all were just based on one like kid that I've worked
Okay.
with, but kind of as the dream has evolved, I didn't really think I'd ever actually yet publish them in a book. So then, I had like a character's name and what I wanted them to look like. And then I would go back and sometimes I would change their hair color because I met another kid who was just like Margot
Yep.
or another little girl just like Nash. So I just changed little characteristics of each one kind of as I went. And I think the biggest or the best advice someone gave me when I first started was to not have my illustrated characters look exactly like a real person just for,
Yeah.
safety, security, confidence reasons. And that really hit home because I had two that looked exactly like the kid. Oh, maybe I should change this. So I definitely changed those. And like for example, Margot was supposed to be a little boy, but I was like, no, I can't do that. So she's obviously a girl. So it's just those little things that not many people know, but it's neat to look back and think, oh my gosh, like Margot really changed a lot
Right.
from character, and Nash did as well. He was one specific little boy, but now he's like five 5 different little boys. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
But like so Nash has the orange top with the red pants. The little one of my little boys, he loves orange and red. Like he always has to match his clothes like that or his socks. So it's that little piece that I didn't want to forget.
Yep.
And then one of my other little boys, he has CP as well, and he always wanted a green wheelchair. So Nash has a green wheelchair. So it's those little details within each of them that helps me remember who they're for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, I think it's like a really cool journey, in the future, and you can look on your, your coloring books and, oh, that, reminds me of that guy or girl. And that's kind of special for you because obviously they were, the whole project that, you built your business, watching them and inspiring them and doing this.
Yeah, like one of my little boys who's based around Psy with AAC device, he's almost junior high now, but back
Wow.
when this, he was itty bitty. And so I reconnected with his mom, and that was well.
That is so cool. I bet the moms love your books.
I've shed some tears with some moms,
I
and then
bet.
people, like you said earlier, they wish they had this when they were growing up, not only for them, but like their siblings or, nieces, nephews. So
Absolutely. Um, yeah, that's so cool that you changed it up but they're like the same and I love that. So what do you want to do for the future? Do you want to do you talk, like do you have like can't think of the word, but do you like go into classrooms and talk about your book? Like, what's your future goal?
I, I'm going to say this out loud just because it's hard for me to say sometimes, but I truly do have big dreams for this. I think it would be so cool if it got so like became almost like a household
Yeah.
name. I walk around at school and I see kids with Paw
Right.
Patrol and PJ Mask and Spider-Man, and it's like, how cool would it be to walk around and be like, oh my gosh, that's a Mission Inclusion shirt, or oh my gosh, that's Cy, that's Jasper.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
for kids to be that immersed in the acceptance and representation. Um, so I think, I mean, I guess I can aim high
Of
and say,
course.
oh, are you all clean? Bye. You want to come say hi? So I think a really cool dream would be a household name. Can you say hi, Miss
Hello.
Courtney? I think a household name would be really cool, but I think small stepping stones would be more author visits, more traveling to kind of get the word out and just spread more representation, more inclusion, and just to see more kids smile because they're getting to see themselves in the book. Are you going to be shy?
No, I love that dream. I mean, I have like the same dreams, and I tell my friends, and they're like, "All right, Courtney, go get him! Like you're gonna do that." So I totally, your dreams are so valid, and I hope that,
My daddy.
I hope that, as you said, like Bluey or Paw Patrol, would have, disability characters and kind of get that in the loop, to have like the normalized, you know, um,
I've seen that Bluey has a little boy with not cochlear implants, but I think he does ASL.
okay,
And then Paw Patrol has Rex.
okay.
He has the
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's only in a few of the episodes, but he's got the green wheels, green and blue wheels, I
Okay.
think. And he's part of the dinosaur land.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Um,
we'll definitely have to work on
oh,
that together.
oh yeah, absolutely. I really want to talk to kids, go into classrooms. I am so fearful of talking. Like, I can do this, I can podcast, but just like a big audience, like that just freaks me out.
I bet you could do Zooms. I bet
That's
place,
actually a great idea.
yeah, because then you could do it from wherever.
That is actually a great idea. I'm gonna uh put it on my bucket list.
If you ever want to practice, I'm sure my school would be
Oh
down to like,
yeah. Yeah, I would love to do that. Oh, that's actually a great idea.
and you could do it like where you're talking, or you could do like interview form.
Yeah.
Because most times when we have authors come and visit, or when I did my one at my school last year, the kids like use some of their class time to write up questions for you, and then
Oh,
we'll get picked, and then they get to ask
uh,
you those questions.
oh, I would be totally down for that. Um, wow, that's awesome. That's a great idea. Um, so I mean, we talked about future projects. Do you have any advice to aspiring authors that want to share their unique experience or disability for the future?
I would say to have the confidence that it means something, because it
Yep.
definitely does. And you never know who it's going to help or support or provide that dream for someone else. So I think, yes, it's very, very hard to do. Yes, there can be lots of road bumps or, things that
Yep.
kind of make you feel like you can't. But if you find a community or search for that community that can support you, I truly believe that what's placed on your heart to do is what you should do. Because I saw a quote the other day and I can't think of who put it up, but it's like you're writing someone's favorite character. And that really hits home, because just like I have kids saying, "Hey, he looks just like me," you have people saying, "Oh my gosh, that's Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, that's Iron Man." So we're getting to make those connections with kids, and we had no idea unless we,
Oh, I have
did it.
chills. I like never have chills. That's that's so true because I mean, yes, it is a journey, and like you said, it's challenges, and it's a roller coaster. Um, you know, starting out, I was not an author, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate the time to do research. We have YouTube, we have all these technologies that maybe I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said it out loud, I'm like, am I going crazy? But a year and a half later, I'm like, oh my God, no, girl, you were not crazy. It took some time, and trial and error, or I don't. I think to the authors that want to do their book, or do a coloring book, um, don't like like don't um fear the judgment, or if you're not an author, quote unquote. um Really don't take it personal, because we're all doing the best we
We're all
can.
making mistakes to get where we need to be.
Right. And I'm 29, and like, I'm fully an adult, but when I started this journey, I felt like a 12-year-old, so it's okay to, take your time and get it right and come out on the other side.
I totally agree.
Oh my God, yay! I'm so glad we did this.
Girl, today was so crazy. Thank you for being so flexible.
It's okay. I changed my plans, so it was a lazy day and I loved it.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time and thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Of course. Thank you for being on Chats with Courtney, and I will see you soon. Bye,
Yay! Thank you.
guys.
Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.